want to introduce John Foster. He's the Director, the Southern Basin Delivery in the Commonwealth Environmental Water Office within the Department of Sustainability, Environment, Water, Population and Communities. Okay, so we really do appreciate John making the time to come in his busy schedule, and I'd like you all to make John very welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Ian, and thank you everyone this morning for providing us with the opportunity to come and talk to you today about our work. Unfortunately, the Commonwealth Environmental Water Holder, Mr David Paps, is unable to attend, and so a bit like David Harris, you've got second best, or perhaps in this case third or fourth best, to come to talk to you. The role that I play in the organisation is to support David in his role as the statutory position in environmental watering in the southern part of the Murray-Darling Basin. As you may know, the Commonwealth Environmental Water Holder is a statutory position which has been established under the Commonwealth Water Act. The CHEW, as the position is often referred to, is charged with the task of using the water acquired by the Australian Government for the purposes of protecting and restoring environmental assets of the Murray-Darling Basin. Now, I suppose I'll just sort of clarify that the Commonwealth Environmental Water Holder does not purchase water. It simply manages the water that is purchased by the Australian Government through its various programs. And so the role of the Commonwealth Environmental Water Holder through the Basin Plan contributes in a very practical way to what is arguably one of the most significant natural resource management reforms in Australia's history. That is achieving healthy environments, strong communities and productive economies in the Murray-Darling Basin. And as David Harris has spoken to you just now about implementation of the Basin Plan, the role of the Commonwealth Environmental Water Holder is intimately linked with the Basin Plan, and we have a number of obligations which are written into the Basin Plan which requires us and the Commonwealth Environmental Water Holder to behave in a certain way. The role of the Commonwealth Environmental Water Holder is to manage Commonwealth environmental water and to make decisions about that water to achieve a healthy and sustainable Murray-Darling Basin environment. From our travels around the basin, and we cover the whole basin, we understand that irrigators are concerned with two key issues in relation to Commonwealth environmental water. And I say that there are concerns, and that is because we have the potential to be the single biggest holder of water in the basin if we aren't already. And the sort of things that people are concerned about are how we use the water to deliver environmental benefits and how we are managing water so that it will not result in negative impacts for other water holders and other water users. And so it's on these two matters that I'll broadly talk about this morning. So first of all, what are we achieving with Commonwealth environmental water? Since 2009, which is when the position was established, over 2,300 gigalitres of Commonwealth environmental water has been delivered throughout 16 catchments across the Murray-Darling Basin. And while that's a lot of water, a fair portion of that has been delivered this year. And so we're gaining quite a bit of momentum. So in this year alone, we've delivered in the order of 1,100 gigalitres. And by the end of this year, we expect to have used 70% or more of our available water, which includes carryover from last year, similar to the irrigation average. The Commonwealth Environmental Water Office, which supports the Commonwealth Environmental Water Holder, has invested in short-term monitoring and evaluation projects to demonstrate the benefits of these environmental waterings. Results from our monitoring have been very encouraging. Our water has contributed to achieving the environmental objectives of the Basin Plan, and that was before the Basin Plan even came out. We've been providing river flows that support good water quality for the environment and also for other water users. We've been connecting river channels to floodplain environments to maintain food chains and support fish movement. We've been filling wetlands that support native fish, birds and other native animals, and we've been supporting the recovery of the environment following the drought and building resilience in the system to weather the storm of the next big drought. Our monitoring projects that are currently underway include projects in the Murrumbidgee, the Edward Waugh Cool, the Lower Murray and the Goulburn River system. Our recent monitoring results have shown that the Low Bidgee near Balranald and the Mid-Murrumbidgee wetlands area, that our watering has supported waterbird, frog, fish and turtle breeding. It has also contributed to significant improvements in vegetation health. We're also establishing a long-term intervention monitoring program which will monitor the impacts of our watering over a longer-term period over 5 years. Both these short-term and long-term intervention monitoring approaches have a sound scientific basis that will allow us to translate the results of monitoring to other areas in the basin and identify the contribution of long-term basin plan objectives and our watering actions. Operational monitoring is also undertaken for all of our watering actions to ensure that water is delivered as planned and help manage risks. This monitoring, both our intervention monitoring and our operational monitoring, helps us adaptively manage our water to get the best out of our holdings. So how do we manage our water? Like most other water holders, we have a number of options available to us. And the three main options for managing our portfolio are the use of water over the course of a year to meet environmental demands, carry over into future years, and trade to enhance the capacity of delivering environmental water to key assets. How we manage the portfolio in each particular year will depend on catchment conditions, environmental needs, which take into account natural wetting and drying cycles of rivers, streams and wetlands, and it will also depend on an assessment of the likely water allocations for the year. All three portfolio management options, so use, carryover and trade, come back to the key priority of how we use Commonwealth environmental water for the benefit of the environment. The Commonwealth Environmental Water Office has finished planning our water use options for the coming water year. And in doing so, we've worked with many people to do that, including state agencies, river operators, environmental water advisory groups, catchment management agencies, and through them, irrigation organisations, landholders and community groups. These water use options will be available shortly. Whilst there are a menu of options that we may pick and choose from throughout the year, it's not until we actually decide to use water that we undertake an assessment of the prevailing seasonal, operational and management conditions as they unfold and as environmental demands need to be met. The decision of how much carryover depends on a range of factors such as current and long-term seasonal forecasts, likely future needs of the environment, state rules around carryover. When the Commonwealth Environmental Water Holder makes a decision to carry over water, they are maintaining the flexibility to use water at a future date. This situation is no different to decisions open to other water holders, and the CHU is bound by the same rules. So the same rules around carryover that apply to irrigators apply to the Commonwealth Environmental Water Holder. The Commonwealth Environmental Water Office is yet to embark on trade. Trade for the Commonwealth Environmental Water Holder is an important management tool which has been established in the Water Act. Trade has the potential to enhance opportunities to align supply of environmental water to better meet current and future environmental demands. We've prepared a draft position paper on trade of our water, and this is currently being finalised. It will establish a trading framework comprised of three elements: compliance with Commonwealth and state legislative requirements, making and following operating rules, and additional non-regulatory actions. The trading framework is informed by and responds to feedback following consultation with irrigation corporations, state government agencies, water brokers and individuals. Trade will obviously be a new activity for the Commonwealth and the Commonwealth Environmental Water Office, and we are taking a very considered approach to setting up the trading framework, and it's important that we get this right. we won't begin trading until all the necessary safeguards are in place to provide the market with the confidence that trade will be undertaken in a responsible, equitable and transparent manner. So one of the other concerns that we regularly hear around risks in managing such a large portfolio of water for the purposes of which we've been tasked. And so I thought it would be important to address some of those risks. So the first one I'll address is the risk of filling up storages through carryover. Our carryover last year was held across 11 catchments and was equivalent to about 3% of the total storage capacity across the basin. Our carryover from this year is likely to be in the same vicinity. Over the longer term, it is expected that the percentage of Commonwealth environmental water that is carried over will be similar to other water users, although like other water users it will vary from year to year. Our water use this year averaged around 70% of our water resource availability, and over the past 4 years we have used a greater proportion of our available water when compared with other water holders. We have undertaken some modelling into the potential effects of carryover of our water on third parties, and key findings were that when the Commonwealth water use is similar to when holdings were owned by irrigators, as it was this year, water allocations to others are unaffected. If the Commonwealth consistently carried over more water than others, the effect on other parties would be positive in the longer term, as Commonwealth accounts would reach their account limits earlier and could not receive further allocations. This water would then be reallocated to other users who have the capacity in their accounts. So the next risk that I'll cover is the potential for large-scale flooding. So like other water access holders, the Commonwealth Environmental Water Office is a customer of river operators. Our water is managed and delivered within existing rules and procedures. The Commonwealth Environmental Water Office works with river operators very closely and other water managers to undertake water use risk assessments to avoid or minimise third-party impacts. The benefit of environmental watering is that we can actively manage our water in response to weather. For example, if there is a rain event or a natural flood event, environmental demands will be met by that and we will cancel our orders. So the next risk that I'll talk about is inundation of private land, which is obviously linked to large-scale flooding. So as I mentioned, we're a customer of river operators and our water is delivered in accordance with their operational limits. As a part of their water delivery arrangements, river operators such as State Water undertake risk assessments to minimise the impacts on third parties and provide appropriate notification to landowners. Our water will be ordered and delivered by the river operators within the system's current operational limits and constraints. Environmental water releases beyond those limits that move onto private land located on floodplains will only take place with the agreement of local landholders or in areas where easements have been agreed. So the next risk that I'll talk about is the risk of our trading behaviour distorting the market. And so previously I talked about we're going through a process of establishing a trading framework, and we're taking our time with that, doing it in a very considered way to ensure that we get it right. And so I hope that what I've talked about will give you an indication that what we're establishing seeks to be responsible, equitable, and provides a transparent approach and is conscious of the potential impacts on others. As our primary use of water for the environment, we expect trade of Commonwealth allocations will only be a small percentage of our holdings. And the only reason that we would trade is to maximise the environmental benefits of our holdings. So we're taking a very considered and measured approach to establishing the trading arrangements. That is proper planning, understanding our legal obligations and establishing good practice. And that in time we will be able to demonstrate through trade that we can achieve mutually beneficial outcomes for both market participants and the environment. So many of you will have heard the term localism used by both the government and through the Basin Plan. And for us, this highlights the importance of working with communities and stakeholders as we deliver environmental water. So if the Commonwealth Environmental Water Office is to manage and deliver water effectively and to where it is needed most, then it is vital for the Commonwealth Environmental Water Office to work with local communities and stakeholders where we can draw from local knowledge and expertise. The Commonwealth Environmental Water Office has been working with local communities throughout the basin in planning for water use and implementing our water decisions. It's important to note that our holdings have been growing over the last 4 years, and the nature in which we engage with communities will change as we get more water and we're doing different things. We're determined to continue to deliver on our promise of localism through meaningful engagement with people throughout the basin, including irrigators, as we manage Commonwealth environmental water. And to assist this, we'll soon be recruiting Commonwealth Environmental Water local engagement officers who will be placed throughout the basin. We've written to a number of organisations seeking hosting arrangements for those officers. We've written to catchment management authorities, water management authorities, river operators and irrigation companies. And once on board, these local engagement officers will further our work with local communities to ensure the Commonwealth Environmental Water Holders' work contributes to a healthy, working Murray-Darling Basin. Thank you.